All right, welcome to the Weekend No Show. I don't know how it happened, but somehow I am the host this week. I go by the name of the insidious LAT. I am joined by CL Smooth. Say something to the people.
What's good, peoples? We back in the house.
Yeah. And of course, we're here with JG. What's up, bro?
Yo, man, what's up?
All right, so in this episode, we are going to take a deeper dive into something that comes up quite a bit in our podcast, and that is the subject of simps. Again, I don't know why they want me to host this. I think it's well known.
But you hate simps, man. You be going on.
I don't hate simps, but anyway. So, as Boys to Men said, simping ain't easy, but somebody's got to do it. So we're gonna dig a little deeper into exactly what is a simp and what does it mean to be simping, and how we feel about it. So let me start it off by saying I did a little bit of homework, and I never do homework, y'all. But I didn't want to sound like an idiot for once.
Man, it got real, man. It just got real.
It just got real. Ladies and gentlemen, the Weekend No Show just got real. This brother just did some homework. Oh my God.
All right. So, according to Webster Merriam, no relation. A simp is someone who obsesses over someone else who doesn't return their affection. That is the basic definition of a simp. There's a little asterisk. The term is usually thrown at heterosexual males. So that is the official definition of a simp, someone who obsesses over someone else who doesn't return their affection. Now, there are also sort of subcategories that we can talk about in terms of specific types of simping. There's online simping. There's real life simping. There's all kinds of ways to simp yourself. So that's the definition. I've got a couple of talking points that I'm going to jump into, but first, let me ask. Let's go to JG. JG, what do you think? I gave you the definition. What do you think a simp is? If not what I just said.
Yeah, see, that definition is not what I think of as a simp. When I am talking about a simp, I'm talking about somebody. There's a financial aspect of it. There's a financial aspect. Somebody who's giving away money or other resources. It may not have to be actual straight up money or resources. They're giving it to a woman and receiving nothing in return. They're trying to ingratiate themselves with a woman for the ultimate goal of having sex with them. And a simp has like no chance at all. A simp just gives and gives and gives and receives nothing in return. That is what I'm thinking of when I'm saying simp.
Okay. All right, CL, what do you say?
Yeah, I agree. It's like, you're giving time, attention, money, resources, whatever it might be, doing favors, helping out, being a shoulder to cry on, or, give them advice, or, help them with their real boyfriends. You know what I'm saying? All in the hopes that one day magically something might happen. Really, a simp is, this is an old school term, is a sucker, right? This is someone that is that's getting played, and getting used. And I think it's it's something actually really bad for society, right? It's this whole concept of being a simp is a bad role model for young people, man. That you should, what do they call in English lit, like unrequited love or something like that? Like you're doing all this to try to win someone over that does not want to be won over by you, man. You got to move on. And I think it's something that if your character hasn't already been destroyed, it destroys your character, man. It breaks you down. When you engage in that type of behavior, you're trying to get somebody to like you by doing things for them is never a winning strategy. So that's my thought on it.
Okay. So, to be honest, my homework rule was I read one article on simping, but in the article, they so in the article, they posited that simping isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just that we use it as, not we personally, but that people use it as a derogatory term, and that by saying being kind to women or men, because it's not necessarily all men doing it, but that by being kind to somebody of the opposite sex is inherently weak, that is a form of toxic masculinity. What do you guys say about that?
Hell no. Listen,
That's BS. Yeah.
That's total BS. See what they're putting together is like what they call a straw man, right? They're saying, look over here. This is a bad thing with the whole toxic masculinity aspect of it. We're not talking about doing nice things for people. That's not what we're talking about. You should do nice things for people. When you feel moved to do it. You don't always have to do something with the expectation of something in return. Agree with that. But when you like someone, right? They know that you like them, and you basically sell out trying to win them over when that's not going to happen, and they allow you to do it. They're bad, just as bad as your character in that situation. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to justify simping, because simping is what pays for OnlyFans and pornography and all these other things. And I'm not making moral judgments about those things. I'm just saying that simping is what allows mainly young women to go online, sell feet pics and this pic and that pic or whatever, and make real easy bread. And out of the other side of their mouth, disrespect the men that are paying their bills. And maybe they deserve to be disrespected, but that's not behavior to be admired. And the reason I'm annoyed with this is because what they do is they're now saying, well, when you target simps or you speak negatively about simps, what you're really saying is that they shouldn't be nice to women without something expected in return. Not saying that at all. You can have female friends if you want. You could do nice things for them if you want. I'm talking about when you know that you like someone, they know you like them, they pretend like they don't, and they use you for the benefits that they give or that you're providing. That's a parasite type of relationship, man. Parasitic relationship. Don't let society fool you and put different words on it.
Okay, so and is like, if the tables are turned, if it's a female that's buying a guy things, buys a guy some Jordans because she really likes him, or or cologne, or just things, does that make her a simp, or is she just trying to woo a man who she finds attractive?
No, I think the simping part is where it's never returned. And the person knows damn well that they're not going to return that affection. They're not going to return any of what this person wants. They're just going to suck up their resources and their energy and everything, and that affection and adoration and money, and use up this person. Simps are people who just get used up.
Okay. So that being said, I also have some. When I looked up the definition, there's also some synonyms, which lets you know just sort of what the good folks at Merriam-Webster think of simps. So some of the synonyms are dipstick, cuckoo, fool, ninny, simpleton, and yo-yo. Those are the fun ones that I took out. So what does that say about simping and how the culture feels about what I think are kind of, like I said, I know initially I had very negative, feelings, but now I kind of feel bad for people who simp. And so just because it's just generally speaking, the culture looks down upon them as, as cuckoos, as nincompoops. And for that, I kind of feel bad for them. Whereas before, I was just like, yeah, you're a sucker, man. Get the fuck out of my face. But now I just kind of, they're someone who I have empathy for now. Does that make any sense?
No. See, and that's one thing I wanted to get to as well, because unfortunately, I just feel like there's something, these people are lonely. There's something missing. Sometimes there's probably something wrong, and they can't, I don't know, they can't get any kind of attention, affection, or anything in real life, and that you turn to, I mean, we always say OnlyFans. You turn to OnlyFans to try to get some connection with somebody, and because it's not just the buying of the pictures, right? Isn't it that you are then to be now connected with this person? You're their fan, and you can then interact with them, right? Which is not possible.
Yeah, I
And
think there's some level of interaction in terms of maybe some messaging, and I don't know how far they take it, but I'm sure a lot of that is, I think, as we talked about in other episodes, actually done by intermediaries that may actually be men. So
it's actually probably men. They're not really
right.
talking to the person. The person's on a beach somewhere laughing at the simps for supporting her life.
So is it simping if the person understands the nature of the relationship? Let's say I'm a lonely dude and I know this woman is never, ever gonna, sleep with me or marry me or even, or be my girlfriend. But I just enjoy, I don't mind, if it costs me, $100 meal to hang out with her for an hour, I feel good because you know what? Those other dudes who see me with her, they don't know that, that I'm paying. So, is it true simping when you understand the nature of the relationship and you're cool with it?
Yes, it's still simping.
Yeah, it's still simping.
Okay.
You're just rationalizing the situation. And the thing is, this is not to attack, so-called simps, right? It's just to say, don't be, at least what I'm saying is, don't be fooled into thinking that this is actually a good thing, because that's what a lot of social media is trying to push these days. There's nothing wrong with being a simp. It's toxic masculinity that's trying to make fun of you. And we're not trying to make fun of you, dog. We're trying to help make you better. Right.
Yeah.
And we certainly understand. Look, people are lonely. There are people, particularly young men today, who don't have the experiences that we have, may not have a whole lot of experience dating women or even just talking to women that are not like in their family or something like that, So I get it. There could be a sense of loneliness or desire or need or whatever. And the only way to express that is through an AI chatbot or sending money to an OnlyFans. But what we're trying to say is that there's so much more to life than that. Sex and all that kind of stuff is great, and female company is wonderful. And relationships with good women is wonderful, but it's not the only thing. And don't let those kind of lower desires pull you into a direction where you're just being used, because ultimately, you feel terrible. It's just like, the reverse of that is a young woman who really likes a guy and all he uses her for is sex, right? So that's kind of the reverse simping, if you want to call it that. At the end of the day, she may initially be like, damn, at least I get to be with him and stuff like that. But you feel a sense of like, yeah, he doesn't really respect me. He doesn't want to really be with me. And you feel a sense of like, you don't feel good about yourself. So whether it's a man or a woman, you don't want to be in that position where you're being used. Nobody wants to be used. Don't let people try to put pretty words around it and fool you into thinking it's a good or honorable thing. It's not.
No, and what I've seen is a friend of ours like to send those articles of this is the number one OnlyFans girl, and I can't remember her name now, but she was making like $600K a month or something.
How much money you sending, man?
I don't have simping money, but but the thing is, it's like some of these simps. I want they should ask themselves this: if I disappeared from this site and I just canceled my account, disappeared, would this person even notice?
Right. Yeah.
Would they even notice that I was gone? No, they wouldn't. And if we remember the immortal Ice Cube in NWA, I ain't the one. I mean, I would tell some of these guys, you got to keep your money for yourself and work on yourself and do things that you like to do, because the end result is the same. I mean, you can spend, I don't know how much are the regular OnlyFans, from what I understand. So you pay a subscription, and then they might make you pay even more for a certain picture or a certain video. So if he was going to spend $200 a month, it's like, take that $200 a month and put it back into your life, man, and into something you are that's going to make you better. because this person has no freaking clue that you exist. They don't know you exist and won't care if you're gone because they have a million others. And I mean, I feel bad for these guys too, but it's like somebody, I don't know who, but somebody needs to wake these guys up.
I too did about 5 minutes of research along with my brother LAT, and I was watching this video. It's like a compilation, and it was showing this young woman who was like on was like Twitch, like live stream type of thing. And I don't know if she was playing video games or whatever, but she was, kind of provocatively dressed, and but she was going off, and she was going off on the on the viewers who were watching her play video games and her commentary or whatnot. And she was like, "I've been on here for I don't know half an hour or whatever, and none of you broke motherfuckers could send me $5." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, girl, you're just sitting there playing video games. You're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
there's just like this sense of entitlement, like you should send me money just because I'm breathing over here.
But
You
it's
know what I
not
mean?
strange. It's not out of line because
Right.
that is what is happening today.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, so here's the thing. We're acting like, so here's the thing. Even though she's just on there playing video games, but that's not what she's doing. She's showing her tits. And so she's like, listen, we're not saying this, but you guys know that the only reason I'm showing my tits is because you guys are sending me $5. It's an unspoken understanding. And in that way, I was like, is it simping? Because it's not spoken, but it's understood. She's like, the only reason I'm on here playing these video games and showing you my tits or whatever, my provocative clothing is because you're giving me money. I mean, we're not expressly saying that, but it's understood. And so it's like, I don't fault the woman, and I used to fault the simp, but I don't fault either of them because it's an understanding that, this is happening. I wouldn't be on here showing my tits if you weren't giving me $5. And so the fact that she's like, yeah, I've been on here 30 minutes, no one's giving me $5. I mean, if I were her, I just would have been like, all right, show's over. But, she can't speak that way. And I mean, she probably could, but, maybe it's uncouth to speak of the unspoken. But I understand, I can understand her not anger, but her annoyance. It's like, hey, we all know why I'm here. It's, come on. I used to frequent strip clubs. And
used to.
Don't they got a statue of you in front of one of those?
I mean,
a monument to your greatness?
Okay, let's go along with this. You used to.
Okay. I used to frequent strip clubs, and the understanding is that you buy a lap dance eventually at some point. I mean, you can go there and just kind of chill and watch the show. But the understanding is that what, you go up there and you throw a tip up there every once in a while. That's the understanding. Otherwise, they don't make their money, and you don't get your jollies or whatever. So that's why I'm just like, again, I've turned the corner on simps.
Well, let me ask you guys something. There's a question I always ask myself. So consider this. Who are we to tell grown men what to spend their money on? I mean, if they get some kind of perverse pleasure out of giving away this money and getting nothing in return, that they must see some value in that. And because we don't see value in it, we denigrate these guys. But on some level, like, I'm going to spend my money the way I damn well please, and I really don't care what anyone else has to say. So maybe these simps, it's like, I guess I can't. Can I not fault them? Because even though it's destructive for society, I think, I mean, it's their money.
Yeah.
They definitely have a right to spend their money however they want to. That's 100%, agree with that. I think it's just like, first, a lot of what they're paying for is already online for free. So I'm not sure why they're paying.
Yeah. There is that.
So it's like the logic is not getting with me. But it's kind of like, I'm trying to think of an analogy that won't get us canceled, man. You're taking advantage of someone who's in a potentially weakened emotional state, right? In a lot of cases. So if you're a man who's an incel or not getting attention or deprived, whatever you want to call it, you're kind of in an emotionally weakened state when it comes to that, and so you're kind of being taken advantage of. Now, if you recognize that or you don't recognize it or whatever, it's your money and it's your life. You can do whatever you want, and I'm not. I guess in a way I am kind of denigrating you. I'm not trying to do that. I'm more just trying to say it don't have to be this way. There are definitely other options. People can improve themselves in their situation. There's ways to do that, and don't. There's going to be a whole industry aimed at trying to convince you that there's not only is there nothing wrong with simping, it's actually an admirable thing. But why are they trying to convince you of that? They're somehow benefiting from that, right? I don't benefit, well, I guess society is hurt if you simp, but really directly, I don't benefit or get hurt whether you simp or not. So I don't particularly care in any individual circumstance. I just don't want to see another dude, get taken advantage of or used. Just like I don't like to see anybody get used. Old people getting scam calls and scam emails and losing their life savings. I don't want to see that happen to anyone. I don't want to see young women, sold a dream by men who they think is going to love them and be with them forever, but they just in it to use them. I'm not for any of that, man. All that is to me shameful behavior, But if you feel like you're getting some value for it, it's your option, it's your choice, man. I just don't think it's the best option. That's just my opinion, but you don't have to take my opinion,
You know what? I think that is the perfect place to end this discussion because you know what? None of us have to take CL Smooth's opinion because his opinion is usually wrong. So yeah, that's a great place.
Yeah, man, he was wrong last time, wrong this time. It's kind of a pattern, but
I feel like I feel like we've dug deep enough into the whole idea of simping. It's like I think. Generally speaking, we're not fans of it, but we also respect people's, everyone has free will. If you want to give your money away and give your time away, whether you're male or female, have at it. I say it all the time. If you like it, I love it. So have at it. But also understand that I'm probably judging you. So that's it.
The Weekend No Show is judging you.
We're going to go ahead and close this episode of the Weekend No Show. Please subscribe, check us out on Instagram, check out all our social media and, show a little bit of support. Podcasting ain't easy, but somebody got to do it, much like simping. So with that,
wait a minute. I want to say one last thing, man.
Okay, go for it.
I really want to know from the audience, man, what do you think about this thing, about simping? What is your opinion on this? Is it just a live and let live, do whatever you want? Is it bad for society? Is it good for society? Is it this is all toxic masculinity trying to stop guys from having a good time? If they want to pay for feet pics, they should do it. Give us some feedback. We want to know what you think.
Okay. Yeah. Look at CL actually saying something worth listening to.
Right. Well put, man.
Don't ever let this dude host again.
Hey, yo, man. Let me just jump in here real quick before we end the show. Hey, I'm thinking that this whole thing. We talked about AI girlfriends in a show before, and I really think that's where this is going to go, man. I think that we've got young men today who are staying indoors. They're playing video games. They're not engaging with women. We got women who are using these simps, and they don't need these younger men. If they're going out anywhere, they're being taken out by the top tier of guys who we talked about before. Maybe the top 10%, 5% of guys are getting all these girls. So what's going to happen now, what I see happening is it's going to be AI all across the board. Like, not only are you going to chat with the AI, but now remember the AI, generative AI can make images, it can make pictures. And then on top of that, we can generate video. So the AI is going to be sending you sex and talking dirty with you and sending these pictures. And what's the difference? If you're talking to some dude on OnlyFans, you don't even know you're talking to a dude. You might as well be talking to an AI. And then on top of that, they have the sex dolls. We talked about that before too, didn't we? The real real dolls. When they start putting AI in that, this whole simping thing, it's gonna go the way of the dodo because these guys are going to put their money into something that they can get direct value from. And no matter what they think, they cannot interact one-on-one with these girls. So that's just my thought on it. I mean, what do you guys think?
So it's funny that you should mention that. So I don't really consider it, quote unquote negative simping if it's, human on human. But when you start just giving money to programs for something that, if you apply yourself, you can get from a human.
I don't know if that's always true though.
I don't know. If you generally just want, if you really have no expectations of physical contact, you can fucking call a phone sex operator. But you're paying a chat bot for sexting and things like that. That feels like the negative connotation of simping to me.
What if they get the real doll?
It's still, that's a oxymoron. How can a robot be a real? I guess it's really a robot or really a doll.
No, I mean that's its name. That's its brand.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying it's not real. It's a silicone life-size doll.
I mean, none of this is real. Their whole simping on OnlyFans, that ain't real.
But at least you're getting human interaction.
No, they aren't.
Well, at least there's a human. At least there's a.
What you got to say to that, Bill?
At least there's a human. At least there's the illusion of human contact.
And that's exactly what the AI is: illusion of human contact. And then with the real doll, there's actual content where you wouldn't. No, these dudes, you're never gonna get. I wish I should have looked up who this OnlyFans person is. The top OnlyFans girl who was like a porn girl. You ain't getting anywhere near her in a million years. Come on, but you can get near the real doll and get what you need. You know what I'm saying? AI, baby, AI.
I mean, all of this is moving towards, less and less human contact, right? We saw it during COVID with the lockdowns and people being isolated. It's happening even more in this age of technology. Kids growing up today, like, I'm looking out the window. I almost never see kids out playing. When I was growing up, man, we was running in the street, playing in the park, playing ball. I mean, sitting outside, doing something, all of us, we're in our phone, we're in our computers. We don't leave the house. It's moving more and more towards a more controlled society in that regard. And when you were talking, JJ, it made me think of that movie. Y'all remember Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a scene in that where it was like a sex scene? Who was it? Was it Stallone and Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like they didn't actually have sex, but it was all like through the mind, through this like helmet thing. Man, with technology, who's to say they can't trigger those kind of physical feelings that come with intimacy through some kind of brain interface where you're not even with someone else. You know what I'm saying? Like we're starting to become less and less of what we think of as human, man. I don't know.
A lot less messy.
Huh?
So it's a lot less messy.
Yes.
But yeah, I get it, but I don't know. I think we're kind of agreeing, but also disagreeing. I think that you're saying that the lack of sort of human to human interaction is a bad thing. Yes, I think that's what I'm hearing from you, and that's my point.
That regard, yeah, I think it's not good.
Yeah, and that's kind of my point in terms of like when people just sort of I don't know, throw up their hands. It's like, you know what? Moving forward, it's all AI and dolls. That's a problem. But again, if you like it, I love it. But for me, that's true simping. That's truly just saying fuck it.
And that's what I'd rather they do. Just say fuck it. Just say fuck it and stop giving away your money to these people, who, I mean, at least the people who make the AI and the people who make the real sex dolls, they're actually doing something. they're actually creating something and making something. I'd rather they have the money than some of these women who are literally just existing and getting money for just existing. And then taking it and knowing damn well they're taking advantage of these guys, not providing them anything, whereas the AI actually is providing them something.
That said, I will be starting an OnlyFans, nothing but foot pictures, just so you know, nothing but feet. And I'll be sure to, put a link to that on.
Oh, dear God. I'll be making sure to never click that link. I guarantee you that.
He trying to tank our whole show, man.
Yeah, all right. CL, you got anything else?
No, man, I think we know who's right.
Yeah, I think we already went through that, but Val, I'll let you end the show now, man. I'll let you go ahead and end the show.
All right, fellas. Like, subscribe, check out the Instagram. Please comment. Let us know what you think. And with that, we're going to get up out of here. Peace.
Peace.